connect the dot. Then later he could understand that looks like you just click the record button.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, there was a devotee by name called Raka Kumbha. Kumbhars are those people who are pot makers, great devotee of Panduranga. And as usual, one day he just made all the pots, and the pot to be ready, it has to be baked in the extreme fire. So he set all the pots, and then fire was set. And for the whole thing to get completed, it takes few days, um, 4 5 days, even sometime more than that. But then after he set and fire was all set, it started getting baked. But then he saw a cat was just circumambulating or walking around this pot area and making sounds of meow 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 sound like that. And Kumba, when he was just returning back from that spot, he saw this cat was not leaving that spot at all. Then he could understand that maybe somehow or the other the kittens are in one of those pots. What happened was this mother cat didn't know where to put, and it just looks like the mother put it kittens inside one of those pot, and Raka did not realize that he stacked those pot into this um, the baking area and left it. Then he realized that he made a big mistake of putting these kittens. He didn't even know how many kittens were there. So it was there, and the cat was kept on crying and making sounds and helplessly just not letting, it was not going from that place at all. So Raka then prayed to Panduranga and said, "My dear Lord, what mistake I have done. I, sh- um, I'm chanting your name, but I'm killing the living entities, helpless living entities here. What a big mistake I have done. My dear Lord, you saved Draupadi in a difficult situation. You saved Prahlad in a difficult situation. You saved all the Brajavasis during the difficult situation by lifting the mountain. And for you to save these kittens is nothing. My dear Lord, please save this kitten and save my name for being an animal killer. Um, my dear Lord. Then he went to the next extreme case of praying to Panduranga, saying that Panduranga, please save these kittens. I'll leave my business, this business once for all for good, and I'll go to forest. Completely chant your name, and rest of my life I'll just be there. By the way, he's a family man, he's married, he has a daughter too, who's also another great devotee. So he was just praying like this, helplessly. He didn't eat, he didn't drink, he couldn't do anything. So he was just like that. His wife was equally devoted also to Panduranga. Her name is Bhaka. When she heard what has happened, she was also in a miserable state, and she was pacifying her husband because you may ask that why can't you just stop and take? It's not possible. It's not like a matchstick or something. It's a huge like a small hill. All those things are burning. You cannot just stop it. But he just put everything on, prayed to Krishna Panduranga to save these kittens, and everything was done. And it was a day for him to go and take the pots out, and they check the right, make the right sound to make sure the pot is nicely baked, correctly baked the way it should be baked. And but his interest was not about that, to check what's happening. The mother cat was still there, sitting there. It was also not doing well. At the time he went there, removed all the ashes and everything, and one after the other, chanting the name of Panduranga, Vitala, Panduranga, Panduranga. He was just chanting the name of Panduranga, and then taking all the pots, hoping to see some miracle, not to see something disaster, because our baby little kittens, helpless ones. So he was just afraid to open. Every time he opens, he was just afraid. And finally, as he was removing each and every parts, and he could hear meow, meow, small sound, little cute sounds of couple of kittens, more couple of or more, and the kitten, as he kept the pot out, the kitten just came out of the pot, ran towards his mother, and the mother started licking its babies, its kittens, with tears in her eyes, and they just happily walked to their place. So Raka was so very thankful to Panduranga, and he prayed and he conveyed to his wife that Panduranga saved these kittens. Panduranga can do anything. He even heard my prayers, and I've told Panduranga if he saves this, when he saves these kittens, then I'll give up my profession and completely surrender myself in his meditation, thinking about him. So the wife said, then why are you waiting any further? Just let's move. They just left everything, and they just walked. A second part of the story is very short. Let me complete that also. So, Namadeva was another great devotee in Maharashtra. Namadeva is so very close to Vithala. They have conversation like how you and we all have conversations as friends. Like that, Namadeva was used to have conversation with Panduranga, Rukmai, and one fine Rukmai is Rukmini. That's how she been respectfully called. As Namadeva was trying to get to the temple at the time, he heard a voice from the altar where Panduranga, Krishna, and Rukmini were having conversation. He overheard the conversation. The conversation is that Krishna is telling, I just can't think about this great devotee of mine where no one is equal to him. And then Rukmini was telling, are you talking about Namadeva? Because Namadeva was standing outside and hearing conversation. Um, Rukmini is telling, you're talking about Namadeva, right? And then Krishna Panduranga said, no, it's not Namadeva. There's another devotee of mine. And then who else can be more greater than Namadev? It should be Namdev. There's no one else greater than Namdev, your devotee. No, 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 no. Namadev is also a devotee, but there's another devotee also. At that time, Namadev entered the inside a sanctum, and it said, "Why you both are arguing like this, my dear Lord, my dear mother? Mother is always attached to her son. The son may be a brilliant, expert, uh, all good qualities, or the son may not have any of these things. And mothers are always very much loving and affectionate to their children, irrespective of what they have, what they don't have, doesn't matter. That's mother's nature. So, Lord Vitala, you don't need to be so much concerned about Rukma is speaking about me as a great devotee. That's mother. That's how she speaks. But I like to hear from you, who's that great devotee? And his thing was not to see who's the great devotee than me. It was not out of ahankar. When the devotees hear the praises of other devotee, we can understand in what standard we fall into. When we hear someone is being glorified, if our belly burns, burns, that means we are jealous, we are envious of the devotee and so forth. If we see in our abdomen a cool effect, that means we are progressing in Krishna consciousness. It's a very important point. When others are being glorified, we should not being burning inside. We should really have a cool effect. Namadeva was such a person. He was happy and want to know who's that great devotee. So he wants to really know that devotee out of eagerness and um, joy. So Krishna Vitala said, well, um, Raka, Raka Kumbha is a great devotee. How is that he can be great devotee? Rukmini was not convinced. Not convinced. It's all a pastime to bring the glories of another devotee. Not that she doesn't know who's Raka Kumbha is, but to bring the glories of another devotee. Sometimes the devotees are put into a difficult situation in life. If Prahlad was given pampered and taken care so nicely with Hiranyakashipu, you and I will not be talking about Prahlad today. If Draupadi was given all the wonderful silk saris, Kochambari and Kanchipuram silk sarees, by Duryodhana as another brother. Just imagine, we won't be talking about Draupadi's greatness now, right? Therefore, difficulties are given to the devotees so that the devotees can shine. That's the only reason Krishna sometimes does this one. So he said that Raka Kumbha is a wonderful devotee. And Rukmini said, well, let's find it out. So Raka and Bhaka and Bhanga, their daughter, were they're all walking inside in the forest after giving up the business. They're walking into the forest. They're walking in the forest. At that point of time, Rukmini Devi, she had this beautiful uh, gold jewelry and a bangle, uh, studded bangle, very nice bangle, an ornament. So she threw on the path where they're walking through in front of Raka. So Raka was walking. As he was walking, there are again different versions of the story. I'll stick to one story, one version. Maybe other time I'll tell another version. So Raka was walking, and as he was walking, he saw this bangle, glittering, nice bangle. He saw that and he turned back and he saw his wife and daughter was walking behind. They're also coming. Immediately he bent down, he digged the earth, he digged the ground, and then put the bangle inside and covered it and went. Continue walking. He thought that, well, luckily I spotted this gold bangle. If at all my wife sees this one, she's good devotee, she's very nice. What just in case anyone can get attracted to anything at any point of time? What in case if Bhaka sees this and somehow she get disturbed or get attracted to the bangle, it may not be good for her devotion. We have to be attracted to Panduranga, not to the gold and diamonds and things like that. We gave up everything. So that's the reason. So he just digged and put the bangle inside and continue walking. If you're walking normally, no one will really see something, no one will be bothered of doing something. When you're walking in the crowd, suddenly you detour, suddenly you try to stop, suddenly you try to take care of something. That's when the people following you will have suspicion. They'll suspect, why did this person stop? What did he do with the ground? Why did he dig something? So Bhaka saw all this thing from a distance. So Raka walked further without, as if his mission was done. Bhaka, as she was coming, she came to the same spot and she thought for a minute, what did our husband do? Why did he dig the ground here? So she started digging the same spot. And then she saw that the gold bangle was there. And she saw that one. And then nearby there was a big river was running. So she threw the bangle into the waters, threw the bangle into the water and continued walking. And she said to her husband, what did you do? Why did you dig into this one? These sort of the things, you cannot save it like this, because in future you may know the spot and you may change mind and come back. And what in case you need some money and you'll dig this and you remember, oh, that day I put a bangle over here, let me take that bangle back. So you may get uh, some ideas. Therefore, why even give a chance for these things? I threw into the water. At the time, there was Vitala, Rukmai, and Namadeva were hiding behind the trees and watching all those things. And then they appeared in front of Raka and Bhaka. And Raka and Bhaka fell at the feet of Vithala and Rukmini. And Namadeva was a great devotee and seek their blessing, and they blessed them to continue and remember always then and went. Now, and again, this is just to glorify and bring the glories of the devotee and see how much detached they were in all those things and how much they were keeping up their words of their commitments and promises that they make. Who is really going to watch whether you go to forest or you don't go to the forest? It was but he only it was for himself. No one heard that one, but he knows, Krishna knows. Therefore, he kept up whatever he said, committed to Krishna, and very detached. I was just reading this one while I was traveling yesterday. Thought I'll just share the story. Um, Thank you all very much for joining this morning. Have a wonderful rest of this day. Chant and be happy. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. Central. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Haribol.